Move to adopt.
Second.
Douglas and Miss Mary. By hand sign, all in favor? Hands down, like sign opposed. All right, we have meeting minutes. There being no old business to come before this board, we're going to move into the new business section. At this time, do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda as it has been published?
Mr. Chair, we would like to get an amendment to the agenda. Per the applicants, we would like to remove items 3, 4, and 5, and that from the application or from the agenda tonight on the basis of the applicant's request.
All right, so just so we're all on the same page, you're asking for the removal of petition CPA 25-10, Z 25-12, and SPR 25-08?
Yes, and those, all three of those will be renoticed and advertised as per statute.
All right. This time, with the amendment of the removal of items 3, 4, and 5, are there any other additions, corrections, or deletions to our agenda for this evening? Hearing and seeing none, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Very nice. We have a motion and a second by hand sign. All in favor? Hands down. Like sign opposed. All right, the agenda has been amended. That being said, I see a lot of people out there. Show of hands, how many of y'all were here for either item 3, 4, or 5 on tonight's agenda? I am very, very sorry to send y'all home empty-handed, but apparently the applicant has asked that these items be removed and tabled. You're all invited to stay and watch us do some planning and zoning, but unfortunately, what you're interested in will not be discussed this evening. It will be heard at the next advertised meeting.
Okay, and it'll be heavily advertised?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be, well, it'll be the same requirements as we did with this one, and because that's per state statute.
Come on, Stu, you're not staying to watch us grind the sausage? Okay.
You know how to clean your house, don't you? Oh, dear Lord.
What?
Yes.
All right, if you're planning on leaving, please do so promptly so we can get through the rest of our business and take your conversations in the vestibule.
No, because my phone's not connected. I checked it earlier today. For some reason, it's not connecting.
All right, now that our guests have unfortunately had to depart us, moving into new business, petition M25-01, which will be a repeal. This is a petition to repeal application M25-01, an application made by City of Lake City Council for a moratorium on the acceptance and consideration of applications for mobile home and manufactured home land use actions or permits. Mr. Angelo, will you please come to the podium?
There it goes. All right, so this application is the repealing of the moratorium for the manufactured homes. And the city is wanting to repeal this. It's got to go through the same process as it was adopted. Once it goes through the planning and zoning board, to go to the city council for adoption through ordinance, just like a rezoning would. But the reason we are requesting the repeal of the moratorium, the new state bill that was passed this year, the new Senate Bill 180, prohibits cities and counties from adopting a moratorium or any kind of regulation that is stricter than what is currently in the land development regulations. And that, we think that original intent was for emergency disaster relief, but the verbiage changed throughout the state, throughout the adoption process, and it kind of encompassed everything. And so this is why we're asking to repeal this at the time.
So this Bill 180 that passed,
Yes.
does that mean that at this point in time, no ordinances can get passed or no amendments can get made to the entirety of our land development regulations that will in any way make them any more strict than they already are?
That is correct. The comprehensive plan and the land development regulations, if they wind up being stricter than what they are now, and that they cannot go forward.
At present, are there other communities and cities such as our own that are appealing this legislation through
Yes,
judicial
yeah,
channels?
there's plenty of cities and counties that are doing it. There's a lot of effects from this, that were unintended consequences, I think, of the bill, and that you'll see a lot more of that, I'm sure. And
Has this municipality joined such legal actions?
I do not know that.
So in essence, our LDRs are now going to be frozen in time until such time as Florida State Bill
Correct, unless we're
180
doing something that,
is overturned.
unless we're doing something that is amending it to either like adding another zoning district or adding, regulations that will encourage growth or anything like that, those are allowed, but it just can't hinder growth in any way.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions from the board about possible unintended consequences this will have on the business we do for the benefit of the citizenry? Is there anyone in attendance that would like to speak one way or another on this issue?
I'll let you go first.
All right, for the record, please state your name
Barbara Limley,
and address. of record.
393 Northwest Fairway Drive, Lake City. The reason I have a concern is that I am closing on a house that I bought on Monroe 2 years ago. It was in terrible shape. However, one street behind on Dade, there were two manufactured homes that were placed there. Rocky Ford was part owner. And this was in the view shed of the historic district. And I felt these manufactured homes just did not fit in that area. And so if there are other lots, I hope the board will take into consideration that manufactured homes are fine. They can look something historic, but if they look like a trailer, they don't need to be there. Thank you.
Very nice. Sir?
Good afternoon.
For the record, please state and spell your name and your legal address of record for Mr. Angelo.
Shannon Acevedo, Shannon Acevedo, and my address is 405 West Gulfway Drive, St. Augustine, Florida, and I'm representing DLP Capital. We have a project that has some unique circumstances. It was in Columbia County, and we had worked through a manufactured home rezoning for a park, and also through all of our civil permitting with Columbia County, right on the border, I think, of the city's jurisdiction. So what we had contemplated was a 155 brand new ground-up mobile home subdivision, or mobile home park, rather, that we would then finish permitting with Columbia County and then permit the actual structures through an annexation with the city of Lake City. And part of the rationale for that is it is served by the city of Lake City water and sewer utilities. And so that was an arrangement that was decided a few months ago. We've worked very hard. We're very excited about this project. It's going to be a great solution for attainable housing, quality, resilient housing for the city of Lake City. And our primary customer are people already living in the city of Lake City that would be first-time home buyers and really solving for that missing middle that we think is really needed within the city. Obviously, a moratorium on permitting would be catastrophic to our financial feasibility, especially holding the investment that long. We were just about to finish up on our permitting with the Swanee River Water Management District and then break ground probably in November. So this was, I didn't know the impetus of this repeal, but I did want to at least give my opinion on why I support the repeal and how this will help bring forward some really nice quality housing to the city of Lake City. The other thing I just wanted to mention is while we were going through the entitlement period, and we had most of it was already in the mobile home park zoning, but there was a portion of it that we had to rezone from a RMH single family type zoning district. Part of the due diligence we did was to review both the City of Lake City's land development regulations and Columbia County's, which were almost identical. There was maybe some minor differences there. So we did put a lot of stake in what those regulations are to date to do our full design, which is now completed. Thank you.
Very nice, thank you. Is there anyone else in attendance that would like to speak on this issue?
Name is Dennis Jordan, Dennis Jordan. Address is 37 Giroux Court, South Fort Myers, 33912. I work for DLP Capital. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Operations for the Manufactured Home Division. I've been in the industry since 1984. I've covered, probably 30 states. I've operated with 100 municipalities throughout my career. I've pulled permits. I have a long tenure in this industry, probably placed over 10,000 homes, either in parks or private property. So I just found out about this, so I ventured here with Shannon, thank you. I just started recently, switched companies, but one of my reasons for coming to the company was obviously to head up their manufactured home division. I take a little issue with the fact it seems like you've singled out manufactured homes in this request. Seems a little bit discriminatory because I don't see that you're singling out single-family LDRs. It looks like it's targeted at manufactured homes. I've been a long-standing advocate for affordable housing. I've worked on the State Housing Commission Board in the state of California. Huge undertaking. It was a project that I near and dear to my heart to be on that board. It was appointed by the governor at the time. So I have a lot of zoning and municipality experience. So I'm hoping that this appeal goes through, or the repeal goes through, which it sounds like legally it may have to until they judicially take it on, right? I mean, it sounds like there's no option at this point. So we're hoping to get our permits through, get our annexation in, and complete this project because I do believe it's good for the city of Lake City. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Marty Martin. I live at 977 Southwest Hill Creek Drive in Lake City, Florida. First of all, thank you all for your time and your service. I've been a resident here 28 years. I work at Champion Home Builders, Homes of Merit. We got about 260 associates. So at different times, we've had over 800 out there, So manufactured homes are exactly what they are. There's a place for them as a housing solution. As you all know, affordable housing is one of our chief concerns in our country today. You can't listen to news or media and not see it. Many of our middle class are being priced out of the dream of home ownership. All right. So realistically speaking, if we continue to have negative zoning consequences on affordable housing, then basically we're going to be looking at a middle class that lives in multifamily rental. So I would tell you that I would think, I don't want to be presumptuous and tell you how to zone, but I would tell you that there ought to be vehicles where you can apply certain criteria to whether the permit is available for a manufactured home in your county, so, or in your city. So with this lady here, I can completely understand your point, but I would also tell you that there are places where recently manufactured homes have been added in your city, and I don't think it's a far stretch to say that they look better than some of the site-built homes that have been there longer than many of us have been here. So I would just ask you to consider the overall implications of your actions if you do preclude manufactured homes from being a viable option for your constituents. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here in attendance that would like to speak either for or against this issue? All right. Hearing and seeing none at this time, public comment on this agenda item is now closed. This time, Mr. Martin, do we need to have you read a resolution of appeal into the record, or would we just be voting on the petition by its petition alphanumeric?
Because the resolution itself is not included in the packet, I don't think, let me go ahead and read it into the record.
Okay.
So it's resolution number PZLPA repeal M2501, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Board of the City of Lake City, Florida, serving also as the local planning agency of the City of Lake City, Florida, recommending to the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, approval of ordinance number 2025-2337, repealing ordinance number 2025-2316 in its entirety, that declared a moratorium for a period of 1 year on the acceptance and consideration of applications for land use actions or permits for buildings to be used as dwellings where such buildings are constructed in accordance with codes other than the Florida Building Code, providing an effective date.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else you want to add from a legal standpoint as far as the implications of 180 and what that's going to do for this board?
What 180 means right now is that for the time being, and Mr. Angelo can probably provide this bit of information. I can't remember the exact duration off the top of my head, but it's tied to areas that are under declared states of emergency. And so for a period of time, is it for 1 year?
Yeah, just 1 year from
So-
a landfalling hurricane.
So for the window of 1 year following a declared state of emergency for this county, this board, because we're in Columbia County, cannot adopt a land use regulation that is more restrictive than what we currently have. Right now, we've been fairly lucky through hurricane season. If we continue and we get to a point where we're outside of that 1 year window, then this board would be in the clear as long as we're outside of that 1 year window to revisit any new provisions in the land development regulations that may be more restrictive than what we currently have. But it's tied to that 1 year period after a declared state of emergency. If a hurricane were to come through here, or even a tornado not tied to a hurricane, or something else were to come and affect the county that would trigger a declared state of emergency under Florida statute, then that would restart the clock for that 1 year period, unless the legislation changes or unless a judge takes some action to negate the current effect of the language of Senate Bill 180 from last session. So it's, we expect the legislature to revisit the issue. We don't know what the outcome is going to be, but we do expect that they will revisit the issue come spring when they go into session. So it's possible that elements of this that we're talking about tonight could be changed at some point next spring, or a judge could render a ruling that changes it.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any additional questions or comments?
Just to make sure I'm clear on that, it means outside of that 1 year period, things are normal. We do what we do and,
Correct. It is a limitation, as it stands right now, it is a limitation for a period of 1 year following a declared state of emergency in Columbia County.
Yeah.
Robert?
So, and just to clarify too, when they're talking about like a natural disaster, that like a hurricane, the county is within 180 miles of a landfalling hurricane, they fall within that area, and that's so which pretty much encompasses the
Robert, it's
pretty much
100.
the whole state of the whole state of Florida when it does that.
It is 100 miles from the hurricane track.
100 miles, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, does that clear everything up for members of the board and what we're going to be looking at moving forward? Just for our own knowledge, Mr. Angelo, by any chance, do you know when the 1 year from a declaration date is currently set at? When we
I
go
do
back
not.
to business as usual?
I do not know what that date would be right now.
There are currently still states of emergency in some counties, I think, that are still pending from last year, where the state of emergency is still in effect, that affords them the opportunity to take advantage of certain benefits from the federal government tied to being in a emergency or disaster area.
And are we currently under one of those states right now?
I don't think, I'm not sure about us. I don't think we are, but we're within 100 miles of others that are, I think, so.
Okay, so if you're 100 miles away from a county that's under a state of emergency, the same rules apply to you, even though you may be honky-dory.
Yeah, I think if we want clarity on this, I can bring it back next meeting and try to clarify. It's one of those matters you have to read it several times and then sit on it and read it again before you really understand where you fall into it. So
Isn't that most of the legal profession?
no, it's not typically. Typically, you want to write where you can be understood and avoid being misunderstood. So
All righty. All right. So if I understand correct, someone have something down there? Okay. If I understand correct, if we call for a motion to approve would be a motion in favor of repealing this.
that is correct. To an appropriate motion if someone on the board wanted to move forward with recommending to the city council that the ordinance be repealed. An appropriate motion would be to adopt resolution number PZLPA repeal M2501 as read by title only.
All right. Do we have such motion to make recommendation to city council on the resolution as read into the record?
Move to approve M25-01 repeal.
Mr. Carlucci?
Second.
Do we have a second? Ms. Mary? All right, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Angelo, will you please call the yeas and the nays?
Miss McCullum,
Yes.
Miss Douglas,
yes.
Miss Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Carlucci,
Yes.
and Mr. Leidick.
Yay. All right, we have a unanimous motion to pass it along to the city council to repeal what, we did this, what, last month before last? This only lasted a couple of weeks, really?
Yes, about the time we got it in effect, we began to understand the implications of Senate Bill 180 and then had to start the path of repeal. So,
All right, there being no additional new business to come before this board, we move to our workshop items for this afternoon before we adjourn and move into Board of Adjustment and Historic Preservation. We have one listed workshop item, and that is a discussion and an election for the new chair and vice chair of this board. My term has come to an end as chair, and at this point, we need to make nomination for new chair.
Mr. Chair, for clarity, although it is labeled as a workshop item, we are still in a advertised public meeting, so that it's a it's a workshop item as it relates to the housekeeping of the board, but we are still in a public meeting so that you can act. If you were in a true workshop setting and not in a public meeting as advertised, you wouldn't be able to actually take the actions to.
Okay, so in
to
essence,
elect.
we're still in new business.
You're still in, you're just on another item, but it's not technically a workshop. The meeting has not been adjourned. We're still in an advertised meeting.
All right. Well, do we have nominations for chair and vice chair of Planning and Zoning Board for the coming term?
I nominate Ms. Douglas.
Second.
We have a nomination and a second for Ms. Douglas. Do we have any additional nominations for chair? Hearing and seeing none, nominations are closed. Mr. Angelo, will you call the yeas and the nays for Ms. Douglas to ascend to the chair of the Planning and Zoning Board, City of Lake City?
Mr. Chair, before we do that, one thing I did want to point out, in researching this for tonight, I know that this is an agenda item for the Historic Preservation Agency as well. Because the Planning and Zoning Board sits by designation as the Historic Preservation Agency, you're in effect also electing your board chair now for that board as well.
As well as for Board of Adjustment.
Well, no, Board of Adjustment has its own provision. It's a separate entity.
Okay.
But the Historic Preservation Agency is an extension of Planning and Zoning. And so when we get to HPA and that agenda, you really won't have to elect anyone. You will have done it now.
Savvy.
So anyway, I just wanted to point out you're killing two birds with one stone in this election with the Planning and Zoning Board election. So.
All right. All right, we have a nomination and a second. Mr. Angelo, will you please call the yeas and the nays?
Yep. Ms. McCullum,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Adams, or Mr. Carlucci,
Yes.
and Mr. Leidick.
Throw her to the wolves. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chair-elect,
Thank you.
Ms. Douglas. All right, is there anything else for us to discuss before we move for adjournment?
Don't we have to elect a vice chair?
Oh, vice
Vice
chair.
chair. Yeah.
Do we have a nomination for vice chair of Planning and Zoning as well as Historic Preservation Agency, City of Lake City?
I nominate Mr. Leidick.
I'll second that.
Second.
All right. Thought I was out. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any other nominations? Does anyone else want to nominate someone to the vice chairship?
Mr. Chair, this is great as long as Ms. Douglas maintains the position of chair, but you would not be able to, under the restrictions in the code, be able to ascend to the chairmanship if she, for whatever reason, was not able to serve in that capacity. You could fill in for a meeting, but you could not actually become chair if for some reason she resigned or something like that. So we would have to elect a new chair if something happened because of the restrictions
planning on
and the
going
way it's
anywhere?
worded in the.
Knock on wood, no.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear about that. So for everyone else on the board, you're not getting yourself out of the possibility that you may have to serve as chair if for some reason that became vacant and Mr. Leidick was in the vice chair's position. So
Is that because it would be a consecutive term?
Yes.
he would exceed the number of consecutive
Outside
terms.
my term limits.
Gotcha.
So is it too late to nominate someone else?
No?
We haven't closed nominations.
No?
I nominate Mr. Carlucci.
I'll second that. All right, we have a contested election. Very nice. All right, stating the name of who you would like to see as vice chair when Mr. Angelo calls your name. Mr. Angelo, will you please call the yeas and the nays?
Can I say something before we vote?
Sure.
I do not mind being vice chair eventually. I just don't think I've got enough experience yet. I've only been doing this 5 months now, 6 months. But in the future, yes, I'm definitely down to do it. But I just don't think I'm good enough to do it yet. I mean,
So
it
are
could be
you turning down the nomination?
no, I mean, I'm not going to turn it down. But when we make our decision, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I get that.
All righty. So, when your name is called, state the name of who you desire to sit up here with Ms. Douglas as her vice. Mr. Angelo, you will please call the yeas, or please call the names?
Ms. McCullum,
Mr. Carlucci.
Ms. Douglas,
Mr. Leidig.
Ms. Johnson,
Mr. Lighty.
and that's it. So it's 2-1.
All right. Well, in that case, looks like I'm back in at least in a vice role. and,
Congratulations.
huh?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. All right. Is there any additional business to come before the board before we call for a motion to adjourn planning and zoning for the evening? All right. Hearing and seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
All right. A whole
Second.
handful of them. All right. We have a motion and a second to adjourn by hand sign. All in favor? Hands down, like sign opposed. Planning and zoning stands adjourned. I now call to order the Board of Adjustment, City of Lake City. Date and venue shall remain the same. Roll call shall remain the same. Meeting minutes from our 12th of August session were electronically distributed through the city's email server of record. I trust everyone's had the opportunity to take a look at those materials as they were presented. This time, are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to those minutes as put forth through electronic channels? Hearing and seeing none, do we have a motion for their adoption?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the minutes by hand sign. All in favor of their approval, signal. Hands down, like sign opposed. We have meeting minutes. All right, there being no old business and no new business to come before our board, while not moving into a workshop environment, we will move into the discussion and the election of a new vice chair and chair for the Board of Adjustment. At this time, do we have any nominees for the chair of the Board of Adjustment, City of Lake City?
Nominate Ms. Douglas for chair.
We
I
have
mean, might as
nomination
well do them
for
all three at
Douglas.
once,
Do we have a
right?
second on that?
Second.
Oh, well, I know how this vote's going to go. All right, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Angelo, will you please call the yeas and the nays for a unanimous ballot?
Yes. Ms. McCullum,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Carlucci,
Yes.
and Mr. Leidig.
Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations, Ms. Douglas. You will now be the incoming chair-elect for the Board of Adjustment, City of Lake City. This time, do we have nominations for a vice chair for Board of Adjustment, City of Lake City?
I'll nominate
Mr.
Mr. Leidig.
I'm
Second.
going under the bus, it looks like. Do we have a second on that?
Mr. Carlucci already did.
Oh, very nice.
He's
Are
like,
there any
"Yeet."
additional nominations for an individual to take the vice chairmanship? All right, hearing and seeing none, at this time nominations being closed. Mr. Angelo, as it is not contested, will you please call the yeas and the nays?
Ms. McCullum,
Yes.
Ms. Douglas,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
and Mr. Leidig, or Mr. Carlucci.
Yes.
All right, it would appear that I will be the vice chair for the incoming term for Board of Adjustment, City of Lake City. Are there any additional workshop items to come before this board or any discussion before I call for a motion to adjourn? Hearing and seeing none, do we have motion to adjourn Board of Adjustment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second by hand sign. Hands down, likewise opposed. This board stands adjourned. This time I call to order the Historic Preservation Agency, City of Lake City. Date and venue shall remain the same. Roll call shall remain the same. Meeting minutes from our 12th of August session were electronically distributed by the city's email server of record. I trust everyone on the board has had the opportunity to read and review those minutes as submitted. This time, are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the minutes as sent out to the board members? Hearing and seeing none, do we have a motion for their adoption?
Move to adopt the minutes.
Second.
Carlucci on the second, by hand sign for approval. Hands down, like sign opposed. Meeting minutes pass. There being no old business and no standalone new business to come before this board, Mr. Angelo, will you please approach the podium and brief us on the administratively approved items that were approved for certificates of appropriateness through the Department of Growth Management?
Yes, all right, so we have two applications that were administratively approved. The first one is COA 25-15. That was for 160 Southeast McCray Street. And they installed a metal galvalume roof over the existing asphalt shingle roof.
All right, over the top of it without having
Correct.
to remove the existing?
Correct.
All right.
All right, the next one was COA 25-16. That was for 523 North Marion Ave. And they wanted to replace the roof with a new TPO roof and then add a drive-through window to the rear of the building. And that would be on the back side of the building, the drive-through window would be.
All right, I saw the drawings that were submitted along with that package. It has the appearance of being almost a rustic wood frame sort of addition for
Yes.
for the drive-through.
Yeah.
Is that actually going to be wood frame construction, or is it some sort of other product, just facade?
I'm pretty sure the siding is going to be a hardy panel, but it'll look like wood siding. And if you look at some of the pictures in the packet, there's a lot of those little bump outs throughout the district,
Yeah.
and so it'll look pretty consistent with them.
All right. Thank you for briefing us on the administratively approved items. At this time, not having to discuss and elect a new chair and vice chair for the Historic Preservation Agency, we can move into workshop items. Only thing I could think of is moving forward, I did see some material in the local media outlets regarding the possibility of additional housing coming to some of the vacant hospital authority lots in the downtown area. Is the city going to be a party to those developments?
That I'm not sure. I haven't been in the meetings for those, so I'm not sure 100%.
All right, I would assume if the city is a party to those, the exterior facades of those structures would have the opportunity to come before the Historic Preservation Agency for review for appropriateness prior to being implemented?
Yeah, if it's properties that are within the historic district, then that would be probably the intent of the city.
And these are municipally owned properties, correct?
I'm not sure.
You may.
Barbara Limley, these properties are currently owned by the Lakeshore Hospital Authority. Several entities, the Gateway College as well as the city, would like the lots. However, they are not the property of the city as currently stated. They don't belong to the city.
But they're currently public property.
Yeah, they're public properties. But anything would have to go through the Lakeshore Hospital Authority because they're the ones who have title to the property.
All right. Anything else under workshop? Anything for good of the order? City have anything?
No, we're good.
Mr. Martin?
Good.
Fantastic. Well, for the final time as your chair, before we call for a motion to adjourn, let me tell you it has been truly an honor and a privilege to chair this board for the term that you had voted me in for. I know sometimes our meetings are horribly underattended by members of the public. I know that our land development regulations can make for very, very boring bedtime reading. But I thank all of the members of the board for the trust you've placed in myself and Ms. Douglas for the past term. And I hope earnestly that you will continue to support Ms. Douglas as she tries to move one seat over to her left. Although I will tell you, I will be at the seat to your right, so if you ever need me for anything, feel free to ask what's going on.
Oh, I'll be calling on you.
Well, no, you won't be doing that. Got to stay in the sunshine. But
No, I'm right here,
Yes.
sitting right here. You'll be helping.
just make sure you do so loud enough that the microphones pick us up, so we don't get accused of having sidebar conversations. But I will be here to assist you in any way possible.
Thank you.
That being said, do we have a motion to adjourn Historic Preservation Agency?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. By hand sign, all in favor of adjournment? Hands down, like sign opposed. We stand adjourned for the evening. Please cut the audio and the video.